way and gets caught on it touches the surface with the bottom of it. So yeah,
I have to take it before he falls. Can I catch it before he falls?
I mean, make an agility.
Alright. Agilities. By the end of this, like, how do I miss? I catch him. Goodbye, second server skull that died to this fucking shit.
You know, if you get enough servo skulls, we can just make a bridge from them.
I'd like to requisition 1,000 server skulls.
Aww.
That is not a bad idea.
Right. So I'll say that you managed to grab the servo skull before it sinks underneath the surface, but the repulsor unit underneath it is completely shot at this point. It's completely encased in metal.
Okay, good. I'll still hold it. I'm gonna repair it later.
Yeah, it weighs.
Can I have Gwen try to fill one of these flasks?
The server skull's full of the metal now.
From a safe distance.
You can really attach a vial to a piece of stick.
So your servo skull weighs 11 kilos more than it did before because of the metal attached to it.
Good.
And it can't move on its own anymore. It's completely immobile, so you have to carry it.
Thanks.
Nope.
11 kilos silver. We'll put that down.
And so Gwen, you're trying your telekinesis, right?
Yeah. Should be within. If she can get within, reasonable distance, she should be able to do it. How much does this stuff weigh?
I mean, if you just want to lift a vial of it.
Just dip a vial in it without risking anybody getting splashed or losing another servo skull.
How did the servo skull not be able to dip a vial in it?
A servo skull is a skull. Does it?
It has utility things.
This is a liquid metal. It better be a braced fucking utility thing. Or it's a very small vial.
So, question for you then, Gwen. Did you roll? Was this a fettered or an unfettered?
You know what? Whatever's safest. She's not a hot dogger.
Well, unfeathered is.
So, first of all, what's your psi rating at the moment? Is it 1 or 2?
It's 2.
All
I
right,
think
so
I rolled the wrong thing. Anyway.
No, I'm just curious here because fettered is half, and you don't roll any checks. So there's literally. So for this, I'm just gonna say that there is no consequence of you failing this roll, so you can just repeat it over and over again.
Yeah, it's practice. It's mental discipline practice.
Yeah, so you
just keep anybody who's gonna flip out of the area while she's doing it.
Yeah, so after a hot minute or two, you manage to successfully dip a vial of into the metal and scoop it up. So you have 1 vial of liquid metal now.
Properly cap it and stow it.
Roll me a d5, please.
I will learn how to do this one day.
Flash roll 1d5. That's it.
So write that on your character sheet. Yeah, it's disproportionately heavy for the amount you get. That's just how it rolls.
Question for the crew. Do you guys want to stay here or start heading out? Because what we could do is just let our crew set everything up, and we can always come back later.
Have we gotten all of the samples we want? Did we get one from close to the sources we can get?
Well, it's inside a rock, so unless you want to...
You get it right where it's coming out of the rock.
Yeah, we got that.
Can we how big is the rock? Can we just take the rock with us?
No, it is probably welling up from some sort of source.
If a vial is 2 kilograms, a rock full of it is way more than 2 kilograms.
It's probably not leaking from the rock. It's probably coming from deeper down through the rock. Through a crack in the rock.
I like
the rock is probably not the source.
I like the idea that Maine would decide that he wants some water on the go, so he rips the faucet head off of the sink and then runs off of that.
It's where the water comes from.
I mean, he's a deaf welder, so it's probably the case, honestly.
God damn.
I've only got 33 intelligence. I ain't no college boy.
You ain't no college boy.
I was raised to fight, not be book smart.
Or any kind of smart.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm gonna say that the boulder is large enough, even without any additional weight of the metal, to be probably upwards of 600 or 700 kilos at least, and it's bulky enough that it would take a whole bunch of people trying to lift it. But even then, you probably need specialized equipment to move it.
Just saying, we happen to have a whole bunch of people.
Let's just get these samples there.
Let's take the samples back. There's no reason to attempt to move the boulder.
So do you guys want to leave some crew to, set up a better, a way to actually move these resources in and out of here? So when we come back, maybe we can jump right to that.
Well, last time we left people here, apparently they were here for a year and we were...
Well, so do you guys want to, right now, do you guys want to go back to Footfall or to the moon? If we go to the moon, we can leave some people and come back and pick them up on our way out.
You're just dying to explore that moon, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't really want to go to the moon. I still don't have a rebreather or anything.
So I guess, we can head back to Footfall if you guys want. The last time we went to Footfall, shit hit the fan.
Well, we have, apparently it's been a year.
Apparently, something like that.
And maybe even longer by the time we get there. So we've got like about 15 wild beasts to enter in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
We've left beasts to compete, and we don't yet know, or I don't think we got a chance to find out how they did. After a year, they would be dead.
In my opinion, I would like to leave people on the planet to, make sure no one else comes and takes over this place.
Well, it's a pretty rough planet.
Yeah, but...
And in a year, nobody else has showed up.
If someone followed us here, because that ship attacked us, we don't know why it attacked us. It could have been following us because it knew about the source. We can leave some expendable crew to, set everything up here. We'll leave some supplies as much as we can and head out or back to Footfall.
Right, so what's the plan here then? Go back to Footfall? Because I'm hearing a lot of different opinions.
I'm for loading up what we have, our samples and our animals, and heading back to Footfall. How long did we contract the hunters for? Or was there a time limit?
I think it was just an ongoing contract.
I'm sure they'll probably want to go and get replacement arms and whatever they lost.
Well,
Most likely.
we resupplied them, but
Did we
is there
resupply
any-
them for their lost limbs? Because some lost limbs.
Well, I'm getting to that. They may want to go back with us. They might not be willing to stay.
I was gonna say for them, we've been gone a year, so they might not want to wait another year.
Yeah, they may not be willing to continue on. We haven't addressed that.
Right, Cornelius, because you were the one who signed the documents to begin with. What kind of contract did you sign with these people? Did you have a time limit, or was it an ongoing contract until further notice?
Yeah, I would say it's an ongoing contract until further notice. I can't. I'm having. I'm thinking. There's probably enough legalese in these contracts that a situation like this, there might be something in there about it. I guess I could say that we should take them back to Footfall, have their limbs replaced, and then give them a chance. Some of them can leave, and some, we can hire some new people. New people can enter in the contract. So I'll say that that's according to the contract. That would be the action to take as far as the manpower goes.
All right. Yeah, and the contract, one of the specific clause you agreed to, that was pretty much their only demand, or as like special circumstances went, is that if they ever deemed that something was too dangerous to do, then they had full right to say, yeah, we're not doing this, or we're not doing this specific thing because we don't think it's possible to accomplish. And if you decided to push on anyway, then you would be the ones doing it rather than them helping you. So that was the only special clause in the contract. But judging by the fact that they started out as 20 strong and you have only seen 5 so far, and all the 5 you have seen have been pretty severely mauled in one way or the other, chances are quite likely they probably need to stock up on some new people.
Yeah.
And limbs for that matter.
Yep. We can try and, send comps to see if anybody else is out there. And if not, we'll just pack everything up. Pack up the supplies.
Are there any? We haven't gone through that. Are there any members unaccounted for, or they're all? I don't know. We haven't. Have we asked them for a head count where everybody is? That kind of thing.
I mean, have you?
So far, no, we haven't.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking
we
as well,
need-
because I never heard
need
anyone
to.
say that.
Then we can head back to camp and ask if there's anybody else out there, or if it's just you 5 left, and where Sarge would be if he's not dead. So you guys want to head back to camp?
Yeah,
Do we want to leave any crew on the planet, or do I want to just take everyone back?
I think we should take everyone back.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so we'll just make sure we close off the entrance to the cave for now so that it doesn't get flooded or anything. And head back to camp.
All right. Yeah, so you leave some crew by the dig site to make the preparations. Start heading back with the tracker. Yeah, it takes you like roughly 2 hours or so. A bit faster this time because you know the way, but it's still slow going because of the terrain. But you're not bogged down by the heavy equipment anymore, so that's what makes it a bit faster. Yeah, you come back to the camp, same as you left it, like almost impossible to see anything through this goddamn fog. But yeah, you step into the barracks again. They all seem a bit happier, now that they have had some additional supplements to their diet, and also strong antibiotics too, so they're not dying of infection. Yeah, you see, two of the people are sleeping, and then one is doing some maintenance work on weapons, and two of them sitting by the table and playing cards when you come in.
Who wants to do the talking?
Yeah, I'll go up to him and say, all right, so in have we already gathered up the samples by this point?
Yeah, so you gathered the samples during the day, and then in the evening you went back.
All right, yeah. So I'll go up to them and say, yeah. So we've almost gotten everything that we've stopped by here for. So in the next day or two, we're going to begin packing up everything in the camp. So we need to know if anyone else is, if you are the only one still on this planet, and if not, then where is everyone else?
Yeah, so the two playing cards. They don't stop the game as you're asking this, and he says, one of the women says, Sarge took a scouting party up north for the larger bear creature. But it's been a couple of days since we heard from them since.
All right, yeah. So I go back to our group and I say, yeah. So we should probably head before we leave. We should probably head up and check on them.
Do you keep your voice down low enough that they can't hear, or is it just normal conversation tone?
Normal conversation tone.
Yeah, and the same woman who's told you that just over her shoulder says, it could just as easily be the rain just interfering. We don't have too many powerful vox casters here anymore.
Can we use our ship's voxcaster to send a larger signal?
Yeah,
Tell Sarge too.
You can use that to boost the frequency.
Yeah, can we? Yeah, I like to do that. Boost the frequency and let Sarge know that we're back and we want to, everyone gather back at the clearing.
All right. Yeah, I don't think you hear any response straight away.
Mm-hmm. We'll wait a bit. Wilson, can I also send a message? You have 48 hours to get back, and then we're leaving.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. Like 48 hours to get back to the clearing before we get off the planet again.
Yep.
Yeah, that works.
We send that like on an automatic repeat or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, just in case they get it. Just because if they don't get back in 48 hours, they either can't get back or they're dead. Why wait? If anything, we can leave some supplies down here if they never show up, but hopefully they get back here.
All right. Yeah, you can quite easily set that to an auto repeat message at regular intervals, saying, "Hey, come back when you can." But yeah, I think if you're not doing anything or while you're waiting, are you doing anything specific, or are you just sitting around and twiddling your thumbs?
I like to take and secure the samples in a nice case and start making sure everything is repaired and ready to go back aboard our ship. Because there was a big storm when we're coming down, so hopefully nothing is damaged.
I mean, everything is still stormy.
Always damaged, yes. Unfortunately.
I like to sit down and talk with what's left of the hunters and so on. Just try to get some stories about what's happened and see if they've found anything besides animal liquid metal that might be of interest here.
All right. Can you give me what would this even? I'm sure there is a role for it. But what that would be, I'm not entirely certain. I think maybe just a charm test. Possibly.
Charm?
Yeah.
How charming are you?
She's voidborn, which is supposed to. Yeah. Let's see. What
There's a skill called charm.
fellowship test? -5 fellowship test with non-voidborn humans. Okay, that's what that was. Got for a moment. Plain charm.
Oh wow,
Apparently, she's really charming today.
you rolled a 4.
She must have shown up with that bottle of footfall moonshine.
She wouldn't be
I mean-
standing up.
Still at least twice as good as the warp reactor moonshine from way before. But yeah, as you sit down and having a conversation with them, maybe play a hand or two of cards with them, and they start slowly open up to you about all the stuff that happened while we're away. So while Gwen is having a chat, and this probably takes like maybe a couple of hours if you're willing to spend that. So, what the rest of you doing anything, or just hanging out?
I'm probably just doing nothing while I wait.
Yeah, I'm probably just relaxing.
All right. Yeah, the story pretty much goes. They started. As you left, they just focused on the mission and started finding more and more interesting beasts, and the more they captured and brought back, the more agitated the rest of the wildlife around them became. So somehow you know they started banding together and attacking the camp. Trying to free the other animals. Whenever they caught a pack animal, and yeah, they slowly dwindled down in numbers to only a handful remained as time passed, and they started scouting wider and wider away from the base. And then, yeah, people just stopped showing up eventually. They just assumed that people fell foul of the prey they were hunting.
That Gwen doesn't know. Being voidborn, is that normal behavior for animals to band together like that? I didn't think they were that smart.
Neither did we, but apparently they are.
Makes them particularly dangerous. Might make them better fighters. Rena, smarter. We haven't been back yet to see how the first batch of animals did.
Well, if they're fighting
You faded out.
Repel Forge. Will miss.
You faded out. I didn't hear what you said.
Right? Is it any better? Is it still like terrible?
Good.
That's a little
Like
better.
for some reason, I had like a 4,000 percent packet loss there for a moment. How this is possible, I don't know.
Internet.
I'll let them know. I think they did remarkably well under harsh circumstances. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of feel them out if they're willing to come back and to continue with some replenishment or not. How demoralized are they?
Yeah, can you give me a scrutiny? Just, I think a plus 10 because you've been talking to them. You get a good feel for them, and they ain't trying to hide, anything particular. A bit easier to read.
Uh,
You can't really tell. But I think, because you spent time talking to them before when you were here, when you first deployed, I think maybe you picked up on this particular, tidbit of information. They, before they went into, beast hunting career, they all served together in the Imperial Guard, as in the same squad, so they were a pretty tight bunch. And that's, you can from that you can infer that Sarge would be a reference to Sergeant, his rank.
all right. I'll just continue to socialize till it's a reasonable time to call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, with the weather being what it is, it doesn't really matter if it's midday or midnight. You can't really tell the time other than your chronometer.
Yeah. I'll keep my drinking to a minimum. Just enough to be sociable.
All right.
And I think that's about all I've got a chance to learn here for now. We wait and see if anybody responds to our message.
Yeah, I think some time passes. I think, and the crew starts packing up, breaking camp, and I think maybe like going on 30 hours or so later from when you sent out the message. It's like sometimes pass like roughly 30 hours or so. So whatever you're in the process of doing as the rest of the crew is breaking camp, you see, in the distance, like dissolving into focus, two figures approaching. One limping, and the other one is just slumped over the first one's shoulder.
I'll, who sees this first? Anybody?
I think anyone who wants to see it can see like roughly at the same time, and some of the NPCs notice it as well and start walking over with weapons drawn, ready. And yeah, you see as the figures come into focus, you see the determined figure of Sarge as he stumbles his way through, carrying and off dragging someone, the tracker with him, slumped over his shoulder, and yeah, one hand, he's carrying the long rifle, long lass.
Holler for a medic.
Yeah.
I got him.
Yeah, so as he stops briefly and lays the stumped tracker down on the ground, or probably like on the that helps get indoor first, outside, out of the rain. Then lays him down gently on one of the tables or one of the beds that you still hadn't packed yet. And yeah, he looks absolutely worn, beaten to all hell, like even more than he already did and what the others are.
Is this everybody?
And he just looks at you like with unfocused eyes and says, "Yeah, this is all of us now."
Unfortunately.
All right. Well, let's get you dried off and patched up and cleaned up.
And the other
Commandeer
one-
whatever personnel needed, whatever's needed to get him situated real quick.
And as you're barking out orders, the other trackers, the other hunters, help Sarge, patch him up, take care of his equipment. And yeah, you see, I think this is probably for the first time like you've seen him like properly, inside the building with the lights. His armor is ripped to shreds, basically. Like imagine, if you will, like all like it's basically just hanging on by scraps at the moment. Some armor plates, scraps holding it together, and it's just ripped and torn all over the place. And underneath on one arm, where the sleeves have been ripped off, like you can see the gleaming metal arm that he has. And there are like deep grooves and cuts in it. Like someone has been, not too dissimilar to what was scratching the outside of the wall of the hablock earlier. And he looks at you now that he sits down here, and he says, "I remember you, pilot. Good to see
Sorry
you
we
again."
took so long. Would something happen? Warp travel is unpredictable. Not sure what exact. Above my pay grade, not sure what happened. But didn't mean to be gone this long.
As you say that, he chuckles and spits some blood on the floor, and he says, "Yeah, above all our pay grades.
Yeah.
Just glad of getting off the rock."
Alright, well, I'm glad you made it back before we had to take off. Didn't want to leave anybody behind.
Sadly, we left too many behind us, but
Yeah.
can't be helped now. And if there's no further comment after that, he just starts barking order. Like he sits down as Conrad is patching him up, and he just starts barking order to the other hunters to stow their gear and make ready for transport. And they immediately just snap back from the tired and worn out soldiers that have seen far too many horrors to like the bristling with activity and just stowing all their gear with an efficiency born of a lifetime of practice. Like it's a night and day kind of change when he came back to the camp when he saw him being alive. Yeah, I think we end tonight's session on everyone climbing into walking into the gun cutter, and you're setting off back into orbit again.
All right.
Nice.
I don't think we should leave anybody on the planet.
Do we want to get back to Footfall for acquisitions, or you want to do that next time in mid-session?
I think we can handle it next session, probably.
Yeah, probably end of next session or something. That sounds good.
Yeah,
All right,
I know there was some talk of leaving people behind at the
that's all good.
metal site. I don't think, as dangerous as this place is, I don't
Nah.
think anybody will be alive
Yeah,
if we leave them here.
like what I think we should do is just say that we'll be bringing back more people to fill in the rank, and then we'll just let them know that we intend to be back soon, but don't know if anything else like this is going to happen. So staying behind is voluntary. If they want to stay behind and keep searching, we'll supply them. I'll say we'll probably supply them extra in case something like this happens, but if they want to stay here and keep up the contract and all that, that's fine.
Well, I think we already decided we're taking the hunters back to football and let them heal, regroup, replace limbs, whatever. And I mean, there was some talk of leaving crew at the site where the metal is.
Long as there's no more ship combat.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should. If the hunters took this much damage, general crew won't survive long enough to be picked back up.
Yeah, I definitely don't think we should leave normal crew here. And the hunters, I mean, bringing them back to football just to get new limbs and stuff put on, if nothing else, would be good.
Mhm.
So that's what I would be in favor of.
Yeah, that's good.
And they need more crew. If they were willing to come back, they need more people.
Who needs crew? If they were willing to come back, what are you trying to say?
I wouldn't.
No, I
Hey,
just
they knew the
imagine.
dangers.
I just imagine someone trying to make a little bit of money. They're in college, they have the semester off, they're trying to make a little bit of cash on the side, and then this happens.
Yeah, no way.
Hey, they knew the danger. Going to a planet that's undiscovered and hunting for dangerous wildlife.
I mean, I'm sure there are some clueless college students or scholar students you can find on Footfall. If you roll.
I'm sure there's
acquisition.
the equivalent of the clueless college student
Yeah, I mean, you can
in
easily
any
pick up,
world.
you can pick up a couple of those, next time you're in Footfall. But yeah, Sarge and his team, those are seasoned Imperial Guard veterans, so they knew the risk and they accepted it. It's just, you were gone for as long as you were, and even the best of the best is gonna be taking a beating over that long period of time.
Okay, so what do we have for skills? Crack shot.